There's a natural army and a spiritual army. What does army mean? What does the word church mean? Some are cowards, can't take it, and go AWOL. They love to wear the uniforms, stand tall until the training, then they can't take it. They're not willing to suffer and die for their country, yet there's plenty that are willing. The term army refers to the entire armed forces. Within a national military force, the word army may also mean a field army. The Army is one of the largest and most important government organizations in the United States. Its function is to defend the American people from aggressors with a force of qualified, skilled, and dedicated soldiers, same as God's church. Jesus used natural things to help us to understand the spiritual things. What kind of a leader or God would send untrained men into a war zone to fight and defend our country? Same as the church. Keep in mind God's army also. The Navy SEALs go through training that most of the military don't have to go through. It is mental as well as physical, being trained to endure and survive in places that is almost beyond human capacity. A lot in training can't take it and fail the test. They turn back, like in the church, they turn back to Egypt or compromise. But all those who do make it are sent into the impossible, dangerous situations, the church, where demon spirits dwell. Other military forces that has not been trained like the Navy SEALs must stay in their ranks because they have not been trained in the line of combat, because they could easily be killed by the enemy, same as the novices in the church. Therefore, everyone recognizing this, they are very intelligent and operate in their field of training. Same in God's army. If they disobey orders and break regulations, also God's real people can also do the same and go beyond their training. They can and most likely will receive a dishonorable discharge or some other degree of punishment. Christians put on the reject pile. Now, some in God's army think they need no training because they become unruly, refuse to listen, they refuse to be taught, trained, they want no rules, no do's and don'ts. They think they know it all and they got it all and will not sit under authority or the fivefold ministry until they are ready to be used of God. That's why so many are bound and put in the enemy's prison camps, and some even killed. We have rules to abide by in our home while growing up, in school, at work, even in our marriage. Yet in the church, people seem to want no rules. Just do as they please. Come as you are. Who cares? But God does care. And there are rules that we abide by, or we will be put on the reject pile. Also, more rules. The military, the police force, firemen, doctors, the common workplaces, restaurants, everywhere unless they're heathens or psychopaths, all have dress codes, no heavy makeup, jewelry, no high heel shoes, low cut blouses. Certain hairdos are not allowed. They got to be neat, clean, and presentable in a workplace, and so forth. You will dress accordingly to the rules or you will be fired. On the other hand, the majority of the church world has no dress code. Anything goes. Some even unclean, sloppy, greasy hair, untrained, disobedient, powerless, no influence army, and wonder why people disrespect, laugh, and mock the church. Making God, the great I Am, look powerless and ignorant with a weak, untrained, ridiculous looking army. When God sends someone that has been trained by Him, His real church, into some of these churches to combat the enemy for them, they are trained, taught, and qualified by God. They are dressed modest. They're armed, standing tall. They're fearless with authority, power, treading on demonic forces from hell, also having love, joy, peace, flowing like a river. The untrained church becomes puzzled. They become offended and think they are trying to be holier than thou, and through ignorance try to kill them spiritually and run them off. What's normal to them is seeing everyone dressed any old way, burdened down and bound by tormenting spirits, weak, powerless, defeated, depressed, sad, thinking this is humbleness and humility. Talking about what all the devil done to them half the service, and we'll make it if we hold on. Even if we have to crawl or amble through the pearly gates. This is unreal. It's negative, faithless words representing a dead, powerless, dumb, ignorant God, one that I don't know. I represent a king, a great king, who has all power in heaven and in earth, has a powerful army that is feared and dreaded by others. Listen to what Rahab said to the two spies that Joshua sent to spy out the land of Jericho. In Joshua 2:9, and she said unto the men, I know that the Lord has given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the waters of the Red Sea for you, when you came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites, that were on the other side of Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom you utterly destroyed. And as soon as we heard these things, our heart melted. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your God is God in heaven above and in earth beneath. Imagine an army that would go to war with no leader, plan, or set time. They would go blindly into the enemy's territory. They would be wounded, captured, or killed. The natural army never goes to war without a plan. Satan has a plot. He's got a plan and he's got a time, honey. And Jesus has got a plot and he's got a time, and honey, he's got a time too. Jesus had a plan and a time to defeat the enemy, like when the walls of Jericho fell. They did not go blindly into the enemy's territory. Neither does the New Testament church. The Lord is still the head. Orders come down from the main head. There is a fivefold ministry, gifts, signs, all subject to the head, which is Jesus. It is to be done decent and in order and run by God. The ministry of confirmation in operation.